Yeah, title checking Elliot Wilson, man. This guy's a friend, man. Griselda's own, man. Conway, huh?
What's good, King?
What's
How's
up?
everything?
Everything is great, man. Speaking of king, man, from a king to a god, man. Finally, man. Like, first of all, I don't think I know the science on like why did you decide to call this project from king to a god?
I was just thinking of a fancy way of just talk just to metaphorically talk about the how I evolved. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
lyrically, and just even outside of the music shit with just doing like all the stuff I've been doing in the city. You know what I mean, in the community since the
Yeah.
COVID-19 shit with giving back, doing shit, feeding the homeless, and back to school drives and all that type of shit. I just feel like I'm in a different space, you know what I mean, than I was before. So I just feel like that was a perfect title, From
I
King
saw
to
some
a
of your
God.
fans say it looks like the cover is almost like a flip of the Reject 2 cover.
Yeah. Exactly. I wanted to kind of show, like, you know what I mean, just how I went from, Reject 2 Conway to now, you know what I'm saying? I got the jewels on and the crown and all that shit is like, I just wanted to show, like, how much I've grown since, you know what I'm saying, Reject 2.
And I saw something you said you was in a mood too to just remind motherfuckers who got these bars, man, that this is a bar fest, man. Like, always about you. It just seems like you get very competitive, when it comes to lyricism and getting your accolades and people recognizing these bars. Like, why is that still so important to you?
I mean, I feel like that's what you do it for, man. That's what you gotta do it for. It don't matter if I open a burger joint, I would want to have the best hamburgers in the city or in the world. Like, that's just what I'm saying, how the way I strive for things. Like, I want to be the best at whatever it is I do. I want to be the best at it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's no matter what it is, it just happened to be a rap. So I want to be the best. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like once I'm putting the work in and doing everything I need to do, sometimes just the competitor in me get the feeling of like, damn, I'm getting slighted. But I really don't pay that shit no attention. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't let that make me or break me. Like, I just keep pushing and keep going crazy with my pen and doing what I do and let everything else work itself out. You know what I'm saying? It's just my confidence is high like that. That's all.
Yeah. But in the moment, you'll say something. If you'll say it, you're not afraid to say it though. Like, you'll say this magazine should have had me, or this thing should have had me. Like, you'll say it in the moment.
Cause I'm a fan of this shit at the end of the day too. So you know what I mean. I know what I'm listening for and what I want to see as an artist. I mean, as a fan, not just an artist. You know what I'm saying?
And you're not afraid to praise your peers when it comes down to it and your collaborators, because with this Lemon record, man. First of all, thank you for the video. We got that on TIDAL. Thank you for delivering that to us. And you said yourself, and Nori's in the video saying it, like, Method Man got one of the strongest verses of the year right now.
On that, yeah, man. That was crazy. Like, I hit Meth, reached out to Meth and shit, and you know what I mean? He like, of course, nigga, send me that shit. I sent it through. He sent that shit back in like a day or two. And I just couldn't believe, like, I mean, I could believe it because, I mean, it's Method Man. You know what I'm saying? I know what his blade is. I know what he do. So, like, but it was just crazy. Like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? Meth still killing niggas. Like, and you know what I mean? You would think, because like I said before, like, hip hop is the only genre where, we have like an age on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, in rock and roll and shit, we still celebrate and fuck with all the niggas from the 80s and the 90s and all that shit. Like, those are the rock and roll heroes. But like in hip hop, they be like, oh, that's the old nigga in the room. You know what I'm saying? So it's just refreshing to see a nigga, Meth about to be like 49 and he's still iller than most. You know what I'm saying?
And what was it like shooting a visual with him? Like, did you talk to him about how much you appreciated the verse and things like that?
Yeah. We chopped it up and kicked it, man. Meth a good dude, man. And he really ain't have to do that for me. You know what I'm saying? He did that because he wanted to. And if you know Method Man, you know he ain't the type of dude that just, mess with a bunch of cats like that just because the dude got a hot single or whatever the case may be. So, you know what I mean? It was just dope that he even did that for me, man. I want to thank that man.
Yeah, and then we're going to drop this when the album comes out so we can talk about some of the album tracks, like the Havoc, Lloyd Banks is on there too. Like, what is it just like in general, like you said, to like be able to work with these artists that I'm sure you have respect for, you came up listening to? Like, what is it like to have them be featured on your music?
For me, it's bucket list shit. Like dreams come true. Like even Lloyd Banks. Like I G Unit was the soundtrack for a lot of my coming up in the streets and shit. When that shit was in '04, I went to jail in '03 to '05. So that's when they was at the top of the world. So that was my soundtrack for a lot of things. And Havoc, you already know how I talk about how Mobb Deep and that infamous album and Hell on Earth and all that shit impacted my life. So when I ran into Havoc, I was out in Wyoming fucking with Conway, working on some music and shit. And that's when I seen Havoc out there, and he was out there for a couple days, and we exchanged numbers and we was kicking in this shit. And I just like man, yo man, send me a batch. And he sent the beat in, and like that was the first beat I clicked on. You know what I mean? I'm like, I sat back like, this is crazy. I hit him right back. I said, hey, yo, big homie, I need to put a hook on there for me too. Because I wanted it to feel like the Infamous or Hell on Earth. One of those albums. You know what I'm saying? So that was some bucket list shit for me.
Yeah. Well, it's always bucket list shit and cool shit for me when people mention me on a record, man. You shouted me and beat that out on the Spurs Free joint. Amongst other key media figures, giving them their propers too. And the main message is that a lot of these albums are suddenly starting to sound a little more Griselda-esque. Like what made you say that? And like when you hear certain music, what do you think your influence, if you could really put it into words, like is in that music? Like when you hear other people's music, like what are they tapping in from with Griselda and adding to their formula?
Honestly, it's not a bad thing though. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really a blessing. Like for us, I take it as a good thing and a nod to like we doing the right thing, because shit, when we was coming up, shit, we was impacted by Wu-Tang Clan. We was impacted by, the Lock Dipset. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't dressing like Jim Jones with the skull belt on, Wally chain. You dig what I'm saying? So it's just what it is. We shifting the culture and we understand that. So we making it cool to rap over like grimy loops and boom bap beats and shit like that. We're just making it cool again to really be yourself and not look. So a lot of artists try to reach for that hit record. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go and what I'm saying, I'm gonna get such and such on it. It's gonna be a hit. Watch. Like we're free. We just be ourselves. We go in the studio and we cook up, and it's all organic. Even all of our features is done on an organic level. Like it's not no label shit or nobody put it together. Like these are people that I'm cool with, and I know that I can just text and be like, yo, I'm about to send something. Can you hold me down? You know what I'm saying? So it's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? When I say that, a lot of albums sounding more Griselda-esque. I'm just really just was speaking like, we shifting the culture and it's finally getting, the respect and the representation that it should. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what we set out to do.
Even though you mastered that sound, like I think I saw something you did with Rob Markman when you and Al were promoting Lulu, and like, you said sometimes producers don't want to give you different batches of stuff or like, take you out of your comfort zone. I feel like on this record, you tried a couple things like with Murder Beats and the song with Freddie Gibbs, like it ain't your usual bop per se, right? Like, so talk about that, like trying out new things and just showing your range as an artist and how versatile you can be.
Yeah, man, I feel like that's important. You know what I'm saying? For if you striving to be like, if you want to be the best, it's like you can't just be. It's almost like in sports or like basketball. We want to just use NBA. Like you don't want to just have one element to your game because then it's easier to defend. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not one of them dudes who just look for a certain type of beat. Like I don't even write raps like until I hear the beat. Like, so the beat has to take me to that place. You feel me? Yeah. So I welcome all type of sounds and beats. And like on this project, I hope that I showed that like on the joint with Murder Beats and, the Hit Boy record with Dej Loaf. Yeah. You know what I mean? Then I could come like, Lemon Squeeze with Method Man and still have my same sound, doing demanding shit like that. It's good to show, like you said, that versatility.
And talk about that Seen Everything with Freddie Gibbs, because I think you mentioned that hook kind of reminds me of a little G Unit like vibe to it. You know what I mean? Just that vibe, like that, that situation. Like both of you and Freddie showing both you guys showing your range on that. Like talk about that collab with Freddie and the chemistry you guys have.
Yeah, man, Freddie, that's my homeboy, man. I got love for that fool. You feel me? We did a couple shits. I was on his album, his last, you know what I mean, on that Babies and Fools. We did a bunch of shit. We linked, you know what I'm saying? So it was only right for us to cook up and do something for my shit. And then but you know that joint came like I just recorded that shit I recorded that myself. And I'm just in my basement and fucking around. I just heard Gail. I'm like, I gotta have a homie on this. It sound crazy on this one.
Yeah, a lot of this album came from like just the quarantine, being in the house and in the lab, right? It's really just knocking this record out.
I recorded this shit, dog. I just was, you know, after the tour ended in March, I just came back to Buffalo and I just was like at home with my family and my kids and shit, you know what I mean? So I just bought a whole studio and just hooked that shit up, and I just been like recording myself, like me, you know, my assistant helping me and shit. And here's the album, you know what I mean? Just to get them ready for the Shady album.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that, man. God don't make mistakes. It's done. Yes, it's done, right?
Yeah, man, that's gonna fuck them up. Like everybody I let hear the albums, like I've been to a couple studios around niggas. I played both albums. I played from Kingdom of God first, then God Don't Make Mistakes. And they all be like, yo, nah, that shit was hard, but this shit right here, you know, man, it's just a different feel. It's more personal. It's more transparent. It's more, you know, I'm telling my story. It's more autobiographical. You know what I mean? It's a more complete album. It's everything you want to hear from me. You know what I'm saying? It's not just the same old, you know, like Everybody Is Food or Black Tape or my usual projects where I'm just on there just rapping crazy and don't give a fuck about no other rappers. It's like this one I'm actually just giving you, it's like I reverse myself inside out and giving my fans the real me.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stories they still don't know, right? I mean, you said it's about your pain and your glory, right?
Exactly. It's a lot of shit they don't know. I talk about a lot of shit like, you know what I mean? I lost a child, you know what I'm saying, while recording that album. You know what I'm saying? I lost people near and dear to me and friends and just, you know, going through some of the stuff that I be going through behind the scenes that I don't really talk about, like the, you know, the PTSD and, the, you know, the depression and all that shit. And you know what I mean? So I really tap in. It's like I'm talking to a therapist on the album, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my condolences to for DJ Shay, man. You know, the album is anchored by a lot of his words. I was wondering if you could share a few words about his connection. People that may not know, like how important he was to you as a man and to this whole movement.
Man, he was super important, man. He really provided, you know, somewhere, you know, for niggas in the hood, no matter where hoods you was from. Sometimes some of the hoods even had beef with each other, type of that. But it was like a sanctuary, and it was a place that, you know, niggas can go and just get away from, you know, to try to stay out of trouble or get away from the bullshit in the streets and be able to create and record and just he had to just, you know, he was able to facilitate that for everybody. And, you know, when I came home from jail in 05, he took me in like that, you know what I'm saying? And just, you know, held me down and always had his doors open and just helped shape and mold me and groom me as, you know, a better artist and a better man, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So we all was crushed, you know what I'm saying? And we still fucked up about that shit, man.
Yes, sir. And then it seemed like that after the funeral, like you had some type of incident where you were detained, but you weren't arrested, was the clarity, right? Can you speak on?
Yeah, I wasn't arrested, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how them people do, man. You know, them motherfuckers, they don't have no respect for nothing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, shit, they, you know, the alphabets, you know, they ran down like on us like at the funeral and shit. But you know, we good though, everything good, and you know, they can't, you know what I mean? We blessed, man. We giving back to the community and we doing back to school giveaways and, you know, man, feeding the homeless and taking care of our own hood and buying back the hood, buying the property, opening businesses. We on that type of time. Brands, marketing. We ain't on that type of time. So we ain't thinking about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But you made powerful message behind Front Lines. I mean, why was that so important for you to touch on all these things that are going on right now?
I just felt like it was important to try to just use my voice and my platform, you know what I'm saying, to try to like, I don't know, just give a voice to the voiceless. And just me being a victim, you know, several times of police brutality, You know what I'm saying? Them niggas whooping me and fucking me up. You know what I'm saying? I done been in jail and got, you know what I mean, beat by, you know what I'm saying, got jumped by the COs and shit like that. My uncle was killed in police custody in 92. And so I ain't really no stranger, me and my family. So I feel like, I got a platform now and a voice kind of. So I just want to use, use my voice the right way, you know what I'm saying, and just lead the right way. And to kind of go into why I named the shit From King to a God, because like, you got to be, I hate to keep using basketball terms, but you got to be a leader on and off the court, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to just do things differently in my community, you know what I'm saying? When I seen all the protests and all that shit, it just touched me differently, man. When, you know what I mean? And just to keep watching this shit keep still happening to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just, enough is enough. So I just try to like, just use my platform and my gift, to talk about something that could, maybe change or, who knows. Kanye told me to do that, start doing that more. You know what I'm saying? Kanye kind of got on me. You know what I'm saying? Because, he on this Christian time and all that. So, my raps is all, how I give it up. But, he told me, like, when you got a gift like that, man, you can't just, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I try to just, I keep that in mind now when I create, and just not even when I'm creating, everything I do. It's like I have a gift and a power, so I'm like, what am I going to use it for? You know what I'm saying? To, to fuck up or to build more.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, that people connected to it too, so it just shows you that there's power in that. Like the reaction
exactly.
to that last verse in front lines was powerful.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly, man. I think about that shit. Like, what if it was my son? You know what I mean? My son, 14, shit, he'll be out here going to college and driving and, you know what I'm saying, doing, on his own one too. Like, what's to stop him from running into that? You know what I'm saying? Running into a racist motherfucking rookie cop with an agenda that just having a bad day. Like, you know what I'm saying? That could be anybody, your son, my son, you know what I mean? Whoever, like, enough is enough. And so I just had enough, and I just had to make a song like that to just speak my mind. That's why the hook and the visual for it was so, you could call it aggressive, but it was just, I wanted to show, like, shit burning, buildings on fire, the precinct on fire and all that, because, man, I feel them protesters, like, nigga, shit, we tired of this shit. You feel me?
Yeah. Before we get out of here, man, I thought you ended the album on a perfect note, man. You and Premier. Nothing left more. You and Primo.
Man.
Why was it important to have Primo close that thing out?
Man, it's just, it's just super important, man, to work with the legend, man. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Nas, man, whole big Conway, man. I gotta be in there too. I work with the legend. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, again, it was some bucket list shit from me, man. So shout out to Primo, man, and the shit came on fire. I love that record right there. Word.
Yes, sir. All right, so when we get in that God Don't Make Mistakes, man, before we get out of here.
We're trying to get that shit. We're trying to get that shit October. Like, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Like second, third week of October. It's all done. Everything is done. We just trying to get the date together now, but it's done. It's handed in. The shit ready to go. You know what I mean? It was finished when From King to a God was finished. So I'm sitting on 2 beautiful bodies of work, and I'm just excited to get to the people. So we should get that God Don't Make Mistakes around like October, end of October.
You talked that mess on Twitter. You said the hardest 2 albums back to back from one artist in the last 20 years at least.
Yeah, man, we got to talk about that, man. We got to talk about that.
Just in general, like Gun, I heard Gun.
I can smell them.
Oh yeah, get the rose. And Gun, I think Griselda in general, but we should, to safely say, we should expect a lot of Griselda content for the rest of the year.
Yeah, a lot of Griselda content, man. Westside Gun, Who Made the Sunshine, Benny and Hit Boy tape dropping, Armani Caesar dropping. We doing another Hall & Nash album before the end of the year. Reject 3 before the end of the year. And I think he's doing Hitler 8, if I'm not mistaken. Hitler 8. Yeah, we on it, man. Like I said, we mashing the gas,
Exactly. Well, I love to see it, man. I'm always there to support, man. Appreciate you taking the time.
You already know, man. I appreciate you, Elliot.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Conway. Talk to you soon, brother.
Love.
Love. Yes, sir. From King to a God.
Yes, sir.